I've been up, oh, when I've been down. I've seen the view from the top and the same from the ground. I once held the world in these hands of mine. Now my youth is gone, like yesterday's wine. Well, it all got wasted.
Welcome back to the Boundary Corner podcast, along with my partner Brian Siegler. My name is Curtis Wilson. And Brian, today, the Hokies fall 38-35 to Liberty. And it's late. It's 10:30. It's Saturday night where I'm pounding on a Doppel Vienna lager. You've got some Bach there. And tonight, we call these recap episodes. This isn't a recap episode tonight, or at least not of this game. This is a recap episode of the current coaching staff at this university.
State of the program.
Yeah, perfect way to put it. Because what happened today is inexcusable on both sides of the football. And me and Brian, a little after the game for about 35 minutes, we chatted, Brian. I'm up in my attic working. I got the earbuds in. Me and Brian are talking back and forth. And he's like, man, do you want to just go do this now? And I'm like, Brian, we got to calm down. If not, it's going to be more explicit F-bombs in this episode than we've ever done in any point in time. But we could go into the details of of what happened. And it's a lot of shit. It's a lot of the shit we've seen before. It's a lot of shit that makes us angry. But we're not. We're going to break this down onto several levels, again, of the state of the program and of the coaching staff. A little earlier today, Brian hit me with something talking about the way we do things. And we looked back and we pointed out that there have been essentially 6 games in the last 5 years. Take that back. 7 games since Justin Fuente took over as head coach that boggle the mind of why we lose. Syracuse in 2016, Georgia Tech in 2017, ODU in 2018, the Boston College and the Duke game in 2019. And this year so far, Wake and Liberty today. Big man, you brought it up. Go.
I am tired, man. And I'm not just saying that because it's 10:37 on a Saturday night. I am tired of watching this football team play down to sub-competition and then hope for the best. Because we do it once or twice every single year. And when we do it, it feels like we're just like the coaching staff is out there flailing.
Yep.
It's like once the trouble hits against these lesser competition, we just forget what to do. I mean, the only area that I would say we did well in today is, I mean, I'm going to actually give the offensive line some credit. I think they did a pretty good job today. A couple flags that I'd like to see cleaned up, but overall a decent game for them. And Hendon Hooker just he balled out when he needed to, and we called his number a whole lot, probably more than I am comfortable with on a given game.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Liberty, folks. I know they're ranked number 25.
And they have some talent.
They have talent at certain areas, but most of their team is full of 3-star or less talent.
Yep.
They have, 8 3-star players? We have...
Oh, God.
How many?
I don't even know.
The entire roster?
40 to 50 3-stars.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's no reason we shouldn't be all over this team. And the only thing that it comes down to is coaching. I mean, we've got the talent to beat them. So we got flat out coached today. And there's no other way to spin it or excuse it or anything like that. We were out coached, and it started at 15 minutes in the first quarter.
Woo-hoo. All right, hold on, Brian.
From
You gotta
kickoff.
educate me. You know I missed the first half because I was at a baseball game, so I'll let you divulge a little bit into that.
I mean, first series, gash up the middle. What did I talk about when we recorded on Thursday night with the defensive tackle? So who did I say should be playing front line? Who did I say should be playing second line?
You said Crawford and Kendricks and Fuga and Hewitt. And me and you have talked about this on this program, and we've talked about it outside this. Teams that run the fucking ball, and I just dropped the first F-bomb. I don't know if y'all want to keep count tonight. Teams that run the fucking ball, that's two now. When you are running Jared Hewitt, freaking heart of a line, Norrell Pollard, heart of a line will fight. Guys you want to take into a brawl with you. Don't get me wrong. They're 286 pounds, and I'm assuming Norrell's like 270 on a good day. I saw inside zone on that first drive because I got home, we got to halftime, and I looked at, Brian said, look at the first two defensive drives, and it's inside zone, and they're literally just getting pushed. And I'm sitting here, and luckily I got Brian. Some of y'all don't have somebody like Brian that I can talk to. Like, Brian, what the fuck are we doing? And you're just like, I don't know. I don't know why we're continuously letting undersized defensive tackles against teams that will run the fucking ball.
Yeah, I mean, we got to balance this thing out, man. I have no problem with, I mean, obviously Kendricks and Hewitt, as you said, I mean, Pollard and Hewitt, sorry, are guys that play hard, and especially Pollard, I love having on obvious passing downs, but and like I said, I love Hewitt and all the work he puts into the program, but at some point you've got to say, this is our deficiency. We need to clean up this deficiency. And if you're seeing consistently when teams are running the ball against you and your defensive tackles are not able to hold their gap and let them give the linebackers a chance to make a play, and we'll get to the linebackers here shortly. Let the linebackers make a play. That's a problem, and I'm baffled that we're still this far into the season, guys getting healthy. I don't know if after the game, if this was subtweeting the staff or subtweeting the fans, but Crawford saying, "Nah, I'm not hurt. Y'all can stop talking about that." Yeah, I don't know if that's a subtweet against the staff for not getting him in there more consistently, or if that's subtweeting the fans for talking so much shit about it. But whatever it is, I mean, I feel like we're starting to see a locker room that is getting frustrated, and I'm not sure if it's with the expectations and just not following through, or if it's with the coaching staff, or it's both. But I'm starting to get like 2018 vibes here. Even though this team is way more talented in terms
so much more talented.
And I'm not saying they're going to end up with a record like 2018. I'm saying in terms of the feel of the season. Like, it feels dire. It feels like we're rudderless. Like, every time we feel like we're righting the ship, we get a broadside from a team that has no business running with us, like Liberty, or like earlier this year, like Wake.
It's true, man. It's true, and we're going into it, and it's 7 now in essentially 5 seasons. And we sit here, and today, a lot of the stuff you talked about, we didn't have Juice Herbert. That's okay. We're still more talented than them. Yeah. But what it is you just – what I feel, Brian – and I didn't feel this last week at Louisville, but I felt it this week at home. Our sideline is fucking dead, regardless of the play that happens. Our sidelines are fucking dead.
And honestly, it wasn't like that out the gate this season. I felt like we started the season. I mean, and they talked about it all off stage, the whole like bring your own fucking juice. Like, well, no one's bringing fucking juice consistently now.
Nobody. There's nobody when there are plays made. last week it was Dax, and Dax was on the field this week, and I know you're going to probably hit that at some point tonight as we talk and drink beer and watch Clemson Notre Dame on our televisions here. But there was no juice. I saw Liberty, somebody would get popped out of bounds, and you'd see somebody jump up, and they're fired up. They're patting their guy on their head. We get a tackle, this guys are like, huh? And when the sidelines are dead, especially in what's going on, with no fans, and we're gonna hit that. Don't believe me, we will, because it's a lot of shit going on. You've got to motivate yourself. Yep. And I hate to say this, because last week you felt like it was something there, right? You saw guys up, you've seen it earlier. Would you be opposed, Brian, to telling 20 guys, I don't care if we're at home, go sit your ass in Merriman and watch a game?
You know what? Before we traveled to Louisville after the Wake debacle, we talked about how the Louisville travel squad was going to be smaller.
Yep.
Because of some of the shenanigans on the sideline.
Yep.
And I think we saw a little bit better action against Louisville, and right back to it with the home game, and you've got pretty much everybody out there on the sideline, and you see a similar type situation this week. So I mean that's a frustrating look.
Yeah.
But I mean I'm going to go a step further than that. It wasn't just the sidelines, man.
Okay.
I'm going to say, mostly on defense, the defense doesn't have a swagger, a killer instinct, dogs. I mean, I feel like these players have the potential to be that, but the coaching staff is not getting them there.
I agree.
They haven't yet. When I look at this defense play, I feel like we have good players that occasionally play good, but we don't have dogs that are asserting the action. They're not out there saying, we're going to fucking come at you. We're going to knock the shit out of you. And at some point, we're going to make a big play and turn this thing around. But right now, no one is afraid of this defense. This defense does not strike fear in the heart of anyone. And I'm not just saying that from a perspective of, we don't have a Cam Chancellor. I'm saying that as we don't do anything across the board that makes teams have to really scheme hard to take away, and we don't have enough killer instinct where we're kind of winning the fight before we're even off the bus. Like there used to be something about playing a Hokie defense that was in people's heads even before the first snap, and we do not have that anymore.
No, that's the honest truth, man. There were times. Again, me and Brian have roughly been fans since 1995. And were we always the most talented? No, we weren't. Honest truth. But you talk about the dogs, and it's missing this year. There's missing that one vocal guy or that one guy who will just hit the living shit out of somebody and literally stand over them and say, fuck you. Fuck you. You do it again, I'm going to hit you again. And immediately it's a mentality thing. Do I think there are some guys on this defense that could be that? Absolutely. Why aren't they vocal, though? Usually, Brian, you coached some high school football. You were coached in college. You were coached in high school. Usually there's a coach that will, I'm not going to say override the head coach, but kind of give the head coach. I'm assuming there's somebody that will give the head coach the Ushka, hey, you let Bob say what the fuck he wants to say to them on that field. And you don't say, hey, we don't do that. You let him go out there and get them fired up and get them feeling it.
Yep.
Am I right?
Yeah. I mean, at Hampton-Sydney, those guys were Chris Scott and Daniel Park. Shout out to y'all if you're listening. Obviously, some of our listeners probably are very familiar with Chris Scott.
Anybody in the 757.
Coaching down the 757. Yeah, so if y'all have seen Chris Scott give a pregame or a postgame, y'all know the intensity that he brings. And he brought that same level of intensity when he was playing on the field. He was the leader out there. He was the dog. People followed him. And I feel like we have leaders by example on the field, but we don't have those guys that are assertive and like the take your will type type players right now. I'm not even say players, but just consistently having those performances. Like, you don't see, I haven't seen anybody take over a game yet. And I mean, let's go ahead while we're talking about players in general. I'm going to give a shout out to Amari Barno, who in week 1 was a guy that I considered more of a situational one-down player that was being asked to do more than he should. And now he is the best player on the defense. At least he was today.
He was today. And you talk about one down, Brian. It wasn't even one down specifically. It was 1 and plus 6 yards.
Yes.
That he would come in. 1 and plus 6 yards. And that MFer, he is a dog. And you know what? Maybe he is the type of guy that if somebody can get in his ear, maybe it's 55 who's on the sidelines now, can tell him, you got to bark at them. And if they say something to you, know we got your back. Because he seems like that kind of guy. Because today, man, watching the pieces I've watched, he was all over the place. And he was doing everything. I look at Amari Barno right now, Brian, and that motor in his body, he gets 15 more pounds on him, and he gets up to 260, 265. That motherfucker's going to the NFL. And not only going to the NFL, with how he looks and how inexperienced he is.
Like right now, he's raw as hell and taking that many steps this quickly. I mean, it's impressive. So I'm going to give the shout out to him. But what I'm going to pivot to now is just kind of the overall linebacker play today. And I'm going to start with not being aware of why Alan Tisdale was not starting this game. I don't know if this was a team rule situation because we didn't see him until after the first quarter, or something else that happened, or this was just, well, we didn't start Dax last week, so we're getting him back in there. Like, I have no idea what the thought process was in this decision, but it was bad. We looked better when he was in there. That's no doubt. And that's not saying that we look good at any point on defense the entire day.
Oh, no, not at all.
As a unit, but that's saying that the snaps that Alan Tisdale played, we looked better than the snaps he didn't. I mean, obviously, Rook getting nicked, early
hurts.
Second quarter, that hurt. Barno even came out for, I think a series when he got nicked up. So
it's okay. Nicks are nicks. Yeah, that's what happened in football. So
yeah. But I know fans love Dax. Dax played too many snaps today between Mike and Backer. He was out there way too much. And it showed, for all his good abilities, bad abilities, or whatever, Dax still struggles at making decisions fast enough and shedding blockers.
It's the old Bud Foster statement. His head aren't in alignment with his feet.
Yeah.
And it's why so many times, and everybody's like, well, Bud loved Dax. Well, Bud was forced to put Dax in that situation. I don't think he felt comfortable with Tisdale quite yet last year. If Bud was still here this year, would Dax be at backer? I don't know. But Foster always talked about guys who can't get this and this together will never make it. Because if you can't make this and this think is one, you're fucked, basically.
Dax sometimes struggles from... Yeah.
Can I say this, Brian? Oh, I think the game is over. They picked up that PI flag, which was bullshit, by the way. That should have been a flag. All right. Anyway, sorry. That's what happens when we're watching live drinking beer. It's like we're sitting in the same room together talking. But the one thing I will say about Dax, especially last week, you missed his juice on the sidelines, right?
Yep, definitely.
Every big play last week, give Dax all the credit in the world, and whether you like him, hate him, or whatever, he was legitimately, unless he was in the game, he was literally cheering every fucking play from the sideline. And you need guys like that. So it's almost like, hey, coach, don't let Dax play. What do you want to do? Let him go fucking cheer. He's got 2 more years of eligibility. It's cool. He can still play for 2 years. Let him Get those guys when we make a first down, swinging the towel. When somebody makes a good play on defense, right at the sideline, clapping it up. But there's no juice. There is no urgency. And Brian, there's a reason when we were in our, I don't want to say prime, because I feel like our prime, I don't think we've hit it yet. When we were in our 20s,
Yep.
there's a reason Lane Stadium was the most fucking feared place to play in the entire country. More than Death Valley, both of them. More than Touchdown Jesus, more than the Swamp, more than T-Town, more than the Plains. And man, I think we're missing it. As a team, we're missing staying there. We got to stay in there. It's almost a year now.
Yep.
Almost a year now. East stands, upper left near north end zone where we could see the guys walk in. And the folks around us, the energy that was put out. We're missing it as a team.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we talk about they need to bring their own juice, because, I mean, obviously we're not the only fan base that's dealing with this, and so we need to be able to create that our own, but, you know, you're a fool if you say that that's not missing from this team. That was always an element of what playing in Lane Stadium was about, was the crowd noise, the obviously the entrance, just kind of that psychological element. Before
the echo chamber, the way the stadium was built was for noise to go to the opposing sideline.
Yeah, I mean we're missing that badly, like across the board. So it's just, and we're not the only team. So I mean, you know, obviously a lot of people are dealing with this, and some other high profile teams are dealing with it just as badly as we are in some cases.
Well, shit, dude, Michigan last week.
I mean, we got Penn State this week. Who else lost one today that was at home?
Hold on.
High caliber team.
There was a couple high caliber teams that lost today. We were not the only ones
I mean, we'll talk about another team that isn't necessarily high caliber, but they have a hell of a atmosphere at home, and that's Tennessee.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee's 2-3. They got smoked by Bama. They got destroyed by Kentucky at home. You know, you expect more fights. And hold on, there was somebody else that lost today, and I got to figure that out real quick, or I'm gonna lose my mind. As I scroll through, I'll say this: Kansas State, Oklahoma State today. Oklahoma State pulled that out. Oklahoma State at one point in time in that game, they were down 12-0.
Yeah.
You see something.
I think that's a missing element for a lot of teams, and but at the same time, as we've said, man, we got to bring our own juice, and we can't get into these lulls from a sideline perspective, and we need to start asserting ourselves more on defense. I feel like we're in so much react mode now. We're not dictating the terms to any offense.
Can I ask this?
Yeah.
All right, you're ham. It's tough to dictate terms. There's things that go on. Is there a game, and I don't care if it's next week. I don't care if it's 2 weeks from now when we play Pitt. I don't care if it's next month. Is there a game where he goes Bud and just says, we're going to send 6 or 7 every time? I don't give a shit. I want you guys just to play without thinking. You know what? We get gashed for some runs and from passes. Fuck it. Because this isn't working. Today we lost by 1,000 cuts. The pace Liberty played at, good God almighty, you could have served fucking Christmas dinner at the pace they were playing today.
Yep.
Does he say that, though? Does he say that?
They got that first touchdown, and like from thenceforward, they knew they were just going to limit the possessions for our offense, and all we had to do was, you know, have a couple fuck up drives, and all of a sudden they're in the driver's seat, man. And that's exactly what happened. We had a couple drives where we went 3 and out. We had a couple drives where we settled for field goals, and that was the fucking difference in the game.
It's very true. And probably the biggest today, And I actually got to hear this on the radio. We got out of baseball. My wife took my oldest son over to the grandparents. Because I think sometimes me watching, how about this? My wife did a sweet thing. I hadn't had a chance to sit and watch a game by myself and take notes in like 3 weeks because my mom was in town one time. We had to go to the neighbors one time, and there were some other things going on one time. So today it's kind of like she let me have my own. And I'm sitting here, and I pull up in the driveway, and I'm listening to the Laser and Burn Up on the radio. And it's 8 seconds left, Brian. Jalen Holston has just broke a 12-yard gain to get inside the 5. We're at the 4-yard line. There is a timeout left. There is 8 seconds. And I'm sitting there, Brian, and I'm like, you run the ball. You just got a massive gain. This is the strength of your team.
Yep.
You have probably the best offensive line, I near say, since 2003, when Jake Grove and those guys were on there.
I'd probably agree with that.
Now, you could look at Dwayne's lines in the mid-2000s and say they were just as good. But to me, it's the Jake Grove lines. I felt like we could show our dominance. And we run a goddamn fade. Brian, you played football. How long does it take to set up a fade route?
You're probably talking about 5 seconds. Maybe
so if that play is ran, which, it's a fit to me, even with good guys like we have, it's a toss-up play still because the ball's got to be perfect. If they get their hand, it's a play you will not turn the ball over on, but it takes time. We run that. And I'm sitting here in the car listening, and I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't we run the ball? Why didn't we have
timeout in your pocket? The run had been working. It boggles the mind, man. It boggles the mind. We're talking about consistently in these make or break moments for the offense. And my biggest criticism of Brad Cornelsen is not his overall play calling. It is he just sometimes clams up in the big moments, man. And I feel like a couple times in this game he did. And he had one call that kind of redeemed him a little bit later with the call to throw the slant to Caleb instead of running it there when we went to tie it up. Overall, man, it just these key moments seem to always never work in our favor. And while we're at key moments not working in our favor, let's go ahead and discuss the end of the game.
Oh, God. Hold on. Stop for a second. Oh, you got to catch that, son. What I'm doing is I'm currently finishing a beer because I have another one sitting here. Brian's saying this, I might have to go grab another one from the beer fridge, boys. All right.
Yeah. Anybody that watched the game today.
Which one? What do you want to hit first?
All right, so let's start with the timeout.
Oh my! It's a fucking 60-yard field goal. You don't ice. You don't.
The excuse was he wanted to get the right personnel in there. Number one,
you better drop an F-bomb on this.
Number one, you obviously had the fucking right unit in there because you blocked the fucking kick. Number two,
perfectly.
Right now, in my opinion, the best coach on this staff has been Shy Best.
Yes, he has.
Trust the best coach on your staff this season. Keep that timeout.
Fuck. Sorry.
Live recording, guys. This is what you get.
If you guys are wondering what we're cursing, what we just dropped the big F-bomb and we stopped, Notre Dame 50-yarder seam because there's nobody in the middle of the field. Yes, James Chavez has been the best fucking coach on this team.
But by a pretty big measure in some cases. And you didn't trust him in that situation.
Yep.
You called a timeout. You supposedly I guess, whispered it and then just at the last second yelled it. How about this? Trust your best coach to get the right guys on the field, and then don't ice the kicker that's kicking a 59-plus yard field goal. It's not rocket science, man.
It's not. I saw that play, and I had like 10 people hit me, and then they hit me about 50 seconds later, and it was just like, you're kidding, right? You're kidding. This is the way.
It's literally snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Literally, that's what it is.
Literally. So, after that horrific situation, we're scrambling because we think we won the game. We forget the down and distance, and we put a prevent defense in like we're expecting a Hail Mary.
Not even down and distance, time on clock.
Yeah, it's both. It's a combination of the two. Like, you've got 4th and 6 with 8 seconds left, and you've got your Hail Mary team out there. And they do exactly what you think they're going to do. They throw a quick out, get out of bounds, 7.5 yards. Now all of a sudden the 59er becomes a 51, and they roll out their fucking Rambo kicker, and he nails it.
Nailed it down the pipe.
And I mean, that's 100% on J Ham, and I'm surprised that no one was in his ear to change that call, because
true,
apparently no one else knew the situation just like him. It baffles me that, I mean, we deserve to lose based on those two calls.
Those two calls belong to us.
And that's after the clown show of coaching that we did up to that point.
That's true. It's very true, because you sit here and and I'm sitting here and it's a 59-yarder. I don't even think timeout. I'm like, this is a 6-yard field goal. This they're doing this by chance. He has the kick of his life.
Yep.
Of his life, and he nails it. I would just sit there and said, cool, because if he misses it, you're sitting here and you're going to be, because that's a 59-yarder. That's from the 39. You actually have a chance to run one play downfield. Like, don't waste time out. Screw it. You didn't use it early enough. Yeah. And, again, I mean.
We did a good job to press them to 4th down, so they had to take the chance and kick it.
Yes. One of the few times that we actually today stopped them on 3rd or 4th down, because those sumbitches all damn day, Brian. I mean, you're looking here and you're kind of like, we talked about it, how big of a key it is that we've got to start getting stops. We didn't get any motherfucking stops today. We got none. Basically, Brian, the team today, they were 10 of 17 on 3rd and 4th down. I'd like to be 10 of 17. We were 6 of 12. So you sit here and it's just like, again, the whole question is your point. The best coach, he's going to put the best on the field. And if you look at the way that was set up, it was a perfect inside little move. The two outside guys did not charge. They literally got up and stopped, because their thought was, if they block it,
we're there to make a play.
We're going to make the play.
And it was set up well. They knew that from that distance that the trajectory of the kick is going to be lower than normal. So you need to get pressure up the middle. It's not going to be something where you're to have much success getting pressure on the edge. You have a lot more higher probability of blocking it by going up the middle.
True.
It was perfectly done and returned for a touchdown. And then
no, it wasn't.
At that point, what little life I had after watching that game got sucked. I was like, oh, we're losing this one, man, and we deserve to.
You're like, regardless what happens.
I mean, I was already at the point after when we had to give up a touchdown in order to stay in this game. I was already at the point, win or lose, I'm railing about this thing. And then that so It's just like I was already like past the point of this being acceptable.
You passed the point of rescue? Like, there's no rescue.
I was already past that before. Like, I would have been happy that we won, but I wouldn't have been happy about how we won. And I would have bitched about it to the end of the earth. And then that happened. So we get to do double bitching here, which is not anything I want to do, but I feel like it's something we need to do. It's both therapeutic because we get our feelings out,
yes,
and we get to actually address some of the things that are going on that we think probably long-term need to be looked at.
It's true. And Brian, you talk about long-term, and we mentioned on Thursday's podcast that the pickup of Jaden Keller. And, man, after what's happened this year, we're 4-3. You know, North Carolina game we can write off. 2 bad losses, you can't.
Yeah.
Baylor flirtation, you can't. And you don't think right now the big guy that it feels like that we might lose, and it's kind of coming down because he's getting more and more interest. I don't know if this kid has grown or just his tape has become more and more accessible. I mean, Cannon Boone is starting to pick up offers and more interest from some of your big dogs. USC is one of the big ones. You don't think? Be honest, Brian. Let me ask you this: you are, you know what? Let's go big. You're Lincoln Riley. You love Cannon Boone as a left tackle, and he hadn't offered him yet. But you see you see Cannon Boone, what he does. You see his body type. He'd do good at Oklahoma, probably, right?
Yep.
What do you think Lincoln Riley and their coaching staff is walking in saying to him?
They're saying we might lose 1 or 2 games a year, and the team that you have committed to is losing to Liberty. I mean, right now, let's go a step further than that.
All right.
Right now, 2 G5 schools in our own state can negative recruit us.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
On top of that, recent history, our 2 closest ACC division rivals can negative recruit us. UVA and UNC.
Yep. It's a negative barrel because right now the way we've looked is it's bad on the paper. Because when you ask if a kid wants to go play for a 4-3 school that's losing to G5 schools that can't get their shit together, that at times look inept on offense, that defensively, like, what the fuck are you trying to do? Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to negative recruit us right now.
Yep.
So fucking easy. And then you talk about the Baylor flirtation, and, you know, some people say now, well, he ain't going to never get another P5 job if he gets fired from Tech. Yeah, but kids can't see that. Kids see, why was he thinking about leaving? Why was he thinking about leaving and going down there? You know, it's different when you're 18 because we've been 18 before, and me and Brian actually had some funny conversations because tonight, looks like the lights are off now, Brian. I think they just had a few people over. Maybe they heard me. By the way, almost this close to being like, y'all out of town? To the Pops.
A little rowdy over there, huh?
Well, I could hear them. No, not rowdy. Those kids couldn't be rowdy. They really couldn't. They're too nice a kid, man. They're not. They are not 16 or 17 and 18 years old where we were wild and freaking get out and doing a bunch of stupid shit. Although I do think. Oh, and by the way, that's Robbie's boy. You see that?
Yeah.
Cornell. Good for him. Live again, guys. Live podcasting. Cornell Powell 17 for Clemson, who was recruited by Virginia Tech. Our friend, he's in the end zone. Our friend Robbie actually coached him in high school. Robbie has met Frank. He's met Bud. He's met Dad. Robbie has probably met more D1 collegiate football coaches than most people.
Yep.
So he's the sort of guy, I'm sure, that has heard negative recruiting from coaches before. Oh, you going to send your guy there? I don't know if you want to do that. Because it doesn't stop at the player level. It doesn't stop at the parent level. You don't think those coaches are hearing it?
It's true, man. It's true.
It's true. So, it's one of those things you just sit here and it's just, that's a touchdown. That's the first play. By the way, I wish one day in my dreams, see my old NCAA games, when your starting quarterback goes down, who's the 99, the 98 comes in to replace him.
Oh, man. I mean, you used to get do that in the early NCAAs where you could create your own roster and that you could pretty much load up attribute points across the board. But they finally said, "Hey, we're not going to be able to allow that because
Well, guess what? They need to, if they come back,
fun.
they need to change their fucking format because clearly, if you're a elite level school, the number one quarterback, even with someone in front of him for a couple years, will likely, I'll commit there. Fuck it.
That church money, man."
Wait a minute. Who is it that always talks about the church money? Hokies Pharmacist, right?
Yeah.
Hokies Pharmacist.
Shout out Hokie Pharmacist for your funny tweets about the church fundage for the Clemson Tigers.
But it's true. It's damn true. You can say what you want to say because Travis Etienne. Actually, Travis Etienne should be the running back for my 49ers right now, and all the stuff he does is good. Folks, can y'all not tell that we're a few drinks deep? I don't know, Brian. I took a shot before we started tonight. I hadn't drank all day because, again, baseball, come in and watch a game. I have to do some things afterwards. I have to go up in my attic where on a 75-degree day, an attic turns 95. Got to make more space for certain things.
So I started with beer during the game. We did breakfast for dinner. Breakfast for dinner. I had eggs, bacon, and sausage gravy and biscuits, and had some mimosas with dinner. And then I pivoted back to beer.
Lord, Brian, it's like you were on a damn. You almost went. I'm going to assume, Brian. Hold on. Let me assume you do not smash beers from 12 till dinner.
No, I wasn't pounding today. This was more of a. I had things going on, so I was drinking beer while I was doing stuff, watching the game, throwing stuff at the television.
You sip some. This isn't old school because, by the way, believe it or not, in Brian and I's younger days, if you would have told me, well, Brian started drinking beer at lunch. He drank beers all afternoon, and then he started pounding mimosas at dinner time, and then he switched back to beer. It'd be like, and?
Yup.
What y'all should know is one time, little story here, Brian. Remember that time, me, your roommate, and Dom?
Yep.
In the cooler?
Oh, yeah.
2002? Is this 02 or is this 3?
2002. 2000, actually, I think it was 3. 2003,
basically, you're playing those years, because I'm not at Longwood yet. Y'all get to hear a story here, y'all. As we will turn back to Hokie Talk in a little while, but, basically, we're like, we want to freaking make some fucking jungle juice. We've got a cooler here. Brian has, obviously, someone 21 on his team. And his roommate's like, yeah, let's do this shit.
Shout out Jay Bird. He was my go-to.
Fast motherfucker too, wasn't he? Right.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, we decide to go make a damn vat of jungle juice in a fucking cooler and take it over to Brian's athletic house. I don't still try to remember because we're sitting in your room for probably 2 hours just fucking pounding beer.
Here's our theory. So we were like, we already have this liquor. We could go to the party, wait in line for drinks, or we could bring this cooler, stash it somewhere, and just go and refill at our leisure.
Yes, we did.
So we said, yes, we will carry this cooler halfway across campus in order to have unlimited refills for the night.
Pretty much. But getting it across campus, because it was like a 2-mile hike, we had
to go across the football field, then into Frat Circle, which it could be a nightmare, and then up the hill to where the TAC house was. So ultimately, it was an interesting night, and we drank
all of it.
Just about all of it, I'm pretty sure. There wasn't a whole lot sloshing around there.
It was 4 of us, right? It was 4 of us.
It was me, you.
Girl drinks, but it was
me, you, Brian, and Dom.
Yeah.
And then,
well, I'm sure we gave some to girls. And
I'm sure we were trying to get some girls on it.
But it was essentially what? It was a half gallon and a fifth, and then a mix. In this massive, it's like we're having to walk. Dom had to carry it because me, you, and Brian were very intelligent about that. We sat there and said, Dom, you got to carry this shit across campus, and because Dom was 21. Because if you get caught with it, they can't say jack shit. We get caught with it. Well, you and Brian wouldn't go to jail. I would go to jail because I didn't go to Sydney.
Hammond City was a different beast, though, back then. Like, it was so hit or miss. Like, sometimes, like, especially during, like, Greek week or something, you could walk across campus and it was just a free-for-all. Like, whatever you did, it is what it is. But on random nights, like, they would be like, yeah, you got to pour it out. And after we spent that much money and that much time and we're hauling it halfway across campus, we were not risking it getting poured out.
No, we weren't.
So,
a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of fighting.
Don got carried.
All right, let's turn it back. So, again, this is going to be labeled reminiscing.
Yeah.
Again, for y'all who might be first-time listeners, for y'all to listen, me and Brian Siegel have known each other since middle school. I'm 37, Brian's 36. We've known each other more than 20 years. This is just one of many stories we have on each other. So, and we've done some dumb shit around each other. Some things will not be mentioned.
Nope.
Maybe our wives are the only other people that know it. If they weren't there, that's probably it. So, anyway, Brian, again, negative recruiting is going to be alive for us, and there's going to be some guys like Cannon Boone who's starting to get the interest, probably DJ Harvey, more than a few other guys that are going to get that push from potentially bigger schools. And, we sit here and we know the coaching staff is what it is. And Brian, let me ask this. You're Justin Fuente.
Yep.
Justin lives out next to the golf course. We know that. We've heard that before. He's going to wake up tomorrow morning. He's got to go in. Sunday's a prep day for them, obviously. He's going to, I can't remember exactly where it is, but I'm going to assume 460. He's going to drive 460 in. He's going to turn into Merriman. He's going to park in that parking lot where you can see Lane Stadium, you see scoreboard, you see drill field, you see all that fun stuff. And he's going to walk into his office, and he's going to open that door up, and he's going to sit down. It's probably going to be about 6 or 7 a.m. Brian, you're him. What do you do tomorrow? Because unless he's an idiot, which he might be, he knows.
We haven't figured it out yet.
I don't think he's an idiot in the terms of reading people, but I think he knows that this loss has probably pissed the fan base off, has potentially lost his team a little bit.
I think for most people see this as the tipping point. And if I'm Fuente, I mean, obviously what comes next above him is controlled by someone else. But if I'm him, I am evaluating myself and my staff to a degree that I've never done this far in my career. I'm taking a long, hard look at situational play calling. I'm taking a long, hard look at the preparation that we have and why we are consistently having poor starts against inferior competition and then having to play either from behind or neck and neck with these with these opponents. I'm looking at why we don't have the energy on the sideline and who in the coaching staff can bring some more juice. I'm looking at who we have in the booth and who we have on the sideline.
Okay.
I'm taking a look at changing play call duties on offense.
Well, Brian, me and you have been calling that for a while now. We're not this. It's not a shocking thing because today it's the same. All right. It's the same shit. It's not the entire game. I hate to say this. Believe it or not, where we went from Brian Steinspring to Brad Cornelison is actually we went a fucking step up. Or Scott Loeffler or Mike O'Kane, who fuck called plays back in. And y'all, I'm almost tempted, like Brian, by the way, I had a shot beforehand. Hey, that's what it's looking like over there in just about 90 minutes.
Got a little stack there.
Probably we'll get another one in a few minutes here. But it is a step up. What it is now, and I think maybe if we weren't Virginia fans and we didn't pay attention, we wouldn't notice it. What it is now is the situational terrible ass calls. Today, and we mentioned it earlier, was at the end of the first half. You don't run a fade. You run the fucking ball because that is your strength. If they stop you, great. It ain't going to take 8 fucking seconds to run a ball. You call your damn time out, you got to put your field, But here's the thing about that. If you get in the end zone, you're up 10 and the momentum is completely shifted. They're down 2 scores, not 1. Yep. The other one, and Brian, this pissed you off and you're sitting here and you're telling me, unless you're fucking going for it, what the fuck are you doing calling that play?
Oh, you're talking about the quarterback lead on 3rd down and 6?
Yes. The one we discussed earlier.
Yeah, so if you are not going to go for it on 4th down, you do not call that play in that situation because they knew the defense was hurting at this point. They knew it. They had consistently not been able to get off the field unless they were forcing a turnover.
Yep.
So you've got to have in your mind that you need to get a 1st down.
Yep.
And if you want to get a 1st down, it's 3rd down and 6. You got to call a play to get you the 1st down. And if you don't call a play that's going to definitely get you a 1st down, you've got to have in your mind that you're going for it on 4th. And, we've talked about it in a lot of the games this year. We consistently leave points on the field when we're having good drives.
Yep.
And we did it again today between the drive just before half, the drive we're discussing here. And then you couple that with opening the game and then opening the second half with just execution flaws and a couple calls here or there that were questionable that gave that offense the ball back really quickly so they could score.
True.
I mean, you put those things together, it's problematic, man. It's problematic.
It's massively problematic. The other piece is, especially with the opening drive, and it's why it's a step up from where we were. The play on 3rd and 7 of that opening drive was the right play. That was a poor execute. It was a poor executed play. Because if he hits Caleb Smith, you looked at that play after I told you, and we talked about it. If he hits that play to Caleb has 20 yards. Because that zone was vacated because we essentially we essentially ran off the safety and we ran off the corner from that spot. But the issue is it's always the worst times. And somebody say, well, if it's the worst times, then you're not in a good position to win the game anyway. Well, for years upon years, we saw at times where it was just bad play calling all around. So again, we took the step up where it's probably 85% the plays are okay. But what we see, and again, what we see as fans and what you see as a person who played is the plays that are the terrible calls are at the worst times.
Yep.
If the terrible calls are at the unopportune times, then it's okay. Sometimes the best offensive play callers you see in the country and on the NFL, they'll do that shit just to make you think about it, right? Like you got to think about that shit right there because I'll do that when y'all ain't thinking about it.
No doubt, man. And I think another thing that we need to look at is, we talk about the situational awareness. I feel like is always lacking, but sometimes I just don't feel like we have a plan and that we like, for example, first play of the game is a jet sweep. I still like that right there just felt like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. They just marched the fucking ball down the field and scored on us. And your first call is a jet sweep. I mean, Curtis, if there's two plays that as a defensive coordinator for Liberty, if I'm sitting making a game plan of saying what should I need to take away, or what is this offensive tendency? Give me two plays that they would think to take away.
I'm not an idiot. It's outside zone jet sweep.
Yeah. Okay.
So either, hey, listen, defensive end, you get up there, set that edge hard, or hey, linebackers, you see a jet sweep, flow to it. Don't even worry about it, just flow to it. But by the way, there are probably some offensive coordinators that would sit out there and say, you know what I'm gonna do, Brian? We're gonna run jet sweep fake. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm either gonna run a quarterback sweep on the opposite side, or if you're really fucking creative, we're gonna run the fake jet sweep. Hendon's gonna roll like he's gonna run. I'm gonna let the tight end and the left tackle sweep out, and I'm gonna throw a damn screen. And there's not gonna be anybody on that side of the field.
Yep.
Right?
And I mean, we ran our quarterback to death today, and that bothered me too. Just because it's effective, like he's the quarterback, the entire offense runs through him. You can't just keep slamming him into the defense the entire game. And what bothers me more than that is that it's almost like our play caller does not trust Blackshear or Holston to get yards for them. At no point did our offensive coordinator do anything to get them comfortable in the game plan today. It was all, well, we don't have Herbert. A couple early plays to our running backs were negative, despite one of them being on the coordinator for calling a dumbass reverse. When we weren't really at that point yet where that type of play call should come into play, and then it gets blown up. And then you completely go away from your running backs until the drive just before halftime. And then you come out in the second half and you really kind of go away from them more or less again. I think we had one or two drives where we finally got Blackshear involved, getting some carries there in the second half, but it was kind of too little too late. Like the running backs never got in rhythm, and the quarterback ended up having to put the entire damn offense on his back.
And he did.
He did. And he played a hell of a game.
If we don't have Hendon today, that game isn't even close.
Yeah.
If we don't have Hendon and Trey Turner, because Trey Turner a few times a day.
Trey had a good game. He
had a good game.
Yeah. So I mean, I've got nothing really bad I can say about Trey's day. I feel bad for Tay for muffing the punt. I mean, that was a really big big swing in the game, and that was one that, against a team like Duke that doesn't really have firepower you can get away with, that against a team like Liberty is going to make you pay for it because you can't get them off the field outside of that. So,
well, where it hurt more was the location. Where he lost it at the Duke game was further up the field, which was okay. When it's inside the 5, it's killer. And it just seems like it's a mental thing with him. Because we've seen him take the freaking punt with somebody 3 yards from him and make a move and get 15 yards. So, I think that's just one of those weird things, Brian. But I'm going to say this, Brian. You talk about and I brought the question to you. What does he do tomorrow morning? Yeah, tomorrow morning. We're not went that long yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. But I cracked another beer if you didn't hear it while I walked over to the beer fridge there, because I'm going to eventually probably be smashed when I go upstairs, and my wife's going to probably kick me or something. Or the little one's going to wake up at 4, and I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep, so I'm just going to wake up drunk.
Hey.
But I'm going to say this. We lit up with J-Ham a little bit, and they should be lit up. It's true, they should be lit up. But right now, the defensive half to me is just off limits. Everybody's new there. Everybody. I don't think you can axe them or take any of their duties away. And some people can say, well, Tracy Clay sucks. The linebackers are playing like shit. Well, when what we're trying to do is change and go from what we did so well for so many years into a modernized defense that can help, that's a face mask, that can help prevent huge scores quickly, it's going to be things like that are going to happen. So, I can't put any of the blame on those guys. But then I sit here
I put the blame on them, but I understand where you're coming from, where it's still too soon to – I think it's time to start, having a conversation, but I think it's too soon to say these guys have to go. I guess at this point, the bigger question is that, are we at the tipping point where we're looking at the whole staff?
Well, you have to look at the whole staff. I think that's anybody that is worth their weight will look at their entire staff and say, you've got to do this better, you've got to do this better.
So let's take it a step further. If you're Witt, are you looking at making a change?
Oh, head coaching wise?
Yes.
Oh God. Well, Brian, I said it a couple weeks ago that my confidence in the head coach had faded, and it's still there. The confidence has still faded. And I think what it's even more after today is the light at the end of the tunnel where in 2016 we legitimately felt like we've got the right guy. We've got the right system. We're going to compete with Clemson in a few years once everybody's here. 2017, it didn't change. It didn't.
Yeah.
And even in 2018 with all that stuff, well, we're playing a lot of young guys. Last year, it came down, but then Hendon kind of brought it back up. But after the 2 losses this year, it's honestly, I said it today and I tweeted it today and I'll say it again. I feel like God's telling us he's not the right person to be our head coach, especially after the shit that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, so here's where I'm at. If we have the expectations that I think we should, which is consistently 10-win seasons, consistently playing for ACC championships. I'm not saying we have to be Clemson. I'd like to get there, but I'm not saying we have to be that. But we need to be at least what we were kind of in the Logan Thomas years.
Okay.
Especially the David Wilson Logan Thomas year.
Okay.
We need to be there. If we're not there consistently, to me, that's a problem. And now I don't think necessarily it's one thing or another, but everyone in the off season and everyone, especially with what the 2020 class looked like, was bitching about the recruiting. I don't like the recruiting either, but I would much rather have bad recruiting than the shit that happened today.
Yep.
And I don't necessarily think one is byproduct of the other, because regardless of the recruiting, we had better overall players on the field today. And we did not play them whether it's execution by the players or the coaches putting them in place, we did not play well enough to win that game.
We did not.
And that's a coaching thing, and that's a coaching thing that has nothing to do with recruiting.
Nope.
So it's not just the recruiting that we're pointing the finger at here. I can live with a top 30 class if we're overplaying that hand.
You can't live with this shit when you're putting guys in horrible fucking positions, making guys do things they shouldn't fucking do.
Yeah, and then again, there's no excuse for a team with the talent that we have to lose to Liberty and to lose to Wake this season.
It's true. And I don't
so that's where I'm at. So where I'm at is that if someone said that Whit Badcock was looking at moving on from Fuente, I would say I'm fine with that. But I'll throw a caveat in there.
It's true.
Our problems are not just going to go away with the new head coach.
Nope.
Because some of the problems that we are dealing with are systemic. And
oh, that's been a hot word for the last few months, man.
Yes, it has. We have some systemic problems with where our expectations are and where our investment is. So I'm with everyone that if everyone wants to fire Fuente and that's what Whit Babcock decides to go with, thumbs up, okay? But I need to see a plan both from who you're going to hire, how much you're going to pay them. Are you going to pay enough to actually get a hire that is worthy to change coaches for? And once you get them in the damn building, are you going to invest in the program enough for them to have success? I think that's a reasonable request if you're going to make the choice to fire a coach. Because if you don't have a damn game plan of what happens next, I mean, if we're going to have to recalibrate our expectations, we might as well keep our fucking current coach.
There you go. It's true. Let him go out.
If you're gonna keep the same expectations we have now, and you want to fire the coach, we need a plan to get to where we're at.
And as Brian was finishing his statement, I told him to look at the TV. Notre Dame just sacked Ukulele twice. They're at the 40-yard line. It is third and like fucking forever.
Third and mile. Third and 25. Third and
25. So it's crazy. But no, Brian, I'm with you.
Ooh, that tackle got beat up.
Yeah. He got popped up. Question is,
he threw a lookout block. He turned around and said, "Look out."
Well, they got in field goal range. Always say, did he pick that ball?
Whoa, no, they didn't.
No, okay. That was weird as shit. But no, I'm with you. But I will say this. As much as it's true that you're good with the firing, I'm just about on that too. If they fire him at the end of the season, I won't be upset. It sucks because I do think we have a good head coach. I think we have a guy that would have benefited with a few more veteran guys around him that have been in head coaching roles before. But I'll say this, Brian.
I think he would have been better if he was able to bring the coordinator that's currently at Texas A&M instead of Gerald else.
If you would have been able to bring, well, remember, Dickey was a play caller. He was a play caller after the first two seasons after Fuente was there. So more veteran. Dickey's older too. But
Nelson was the speed guy.
You talk about all the stuff that has to happen. I think a right head coach could do that. We do know his personality isn't about the fundraising, isn't about, all this, all that. Notre Dame's going nuts. It's crazy. The students have said, fuck the bullshit. We're all getting down here on the sideline together. Fuck it. Love that. But a right coach could fix things. And everybody's like, well, what's the right coach? Well, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I've texted you and some people, Todd Grantham, Dave Clawson, guy playing defensive coordinator at Clemson right now, Clark Lee, 37 years old, a freaking you better go backwards. You better go backwards. Clark Lee. But I texted Grantham Clausen and Kevin Wilson. And only Kevin Wilson's in there because he's at Ohio State and he is the offensive coordinator, and they're rushing the field and they do not care. Good for them. By the way, Brian, that sucks because that's probably going to be the ACC championship now. But still, great fucking – that's what college football – all right, I'm stopping right now. That's what college football is about. That. For folks, it is 11:44 on the East Coast. That is what college football is all about. You rush the field when you take down number one. You rush it.
You gotta love the energy, man. You gotta love the energy.
All right, I'm gonna stop for a second, Brian, because I want to get into something. You asked me my favorite sports. College football is 1-1. There is no emotion like that in professional football. There's no emotion like that in just about any football, with the exception of March Madness. There's not.
Yep.
And we have been in that, dude. In Lane Stadium, we have been in that. That's what makes this sport, in my opinion, and if you're a professional football 1-1 because of fantasy and because of all that, that's fine. Because you're seeing the elite of the elite do a sport that's great. But that right there, and you're seeing it right now, the green, right? The green wave.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
You don't see that on professional fields.
Nope.
And they're showing the Charlie Ward play from 93. That's one of the first college football games I can remember in my lifetime. Not having fans this year has sucked so much. That's what we're missing.
That's a big part of it, man. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier in the recording, but Lane Stadium is different, man. Being in Lane is different. I've been in a lot of stadiums, man. I've been in pro stadiums. I've been in a bunch of college stadiums. And obviously I've been in D3 atmospheres a bunch too, which don't compare in terms of the number of fans, obviously, but sometimes those it can still be rowdy, man. So I've been in that, and the passion is different. Like you said, man, it's different. And Lane specifically is different. And regardless of how you feel about this season or how you feel about Fuente or how you feel about these players and this team, missing that sucks.
Yes, it does.
Full stop. No doubt.
Years ago, Brian, and I can't find the clip, and I wish it could be out there. By the way, give them credit. I'm seeing more mask in that crowd than I expect to see, so kudos to the Notre Dame kids. But the honest truth is, Scott Van Pelt years ago, it had to be early 2000s. He literally went through all the stuff. And I know we're rambling, folks, but I don't care because it's got to be said. He went through all the stuff with college football. What makes college football great? And he mentioned like Inner Sandman, unbelievable. The sway at Texas A&M, jump around at Wisconsin, hitting the M at Michigan, dotting the I. When they sway in the third quarter at UVA, we hate them, but you know what? That's special. Rammer Jammer down at Alabama, unbelievable. The Gator Chomp, the Hedges. When we started this podcast, it's a Virginia Tech podcast. It is a college football podcast. That's why we do different games every week. And if you sat in any of those stadiums, and I've got a list, the cocktail party was today. I want to get in that at least one time before I die, because apparently you go down there and literally die because it's nuts. And they don't break out in fist fights. But that's what it's all about. And I'm ready for next year, and hopefully this shit gets over with. Me and you can get into Lane Stadium and jump.
Yes,
and say Hokies, Hokies.
And maybe, just maybe, we can stick it in.
Well, you know what? If I'm Justin Fuente right now with all the shit going on, I go to Wed and be like, we're bringing that back. I don't give a fuck. And you're going to put out that. But anyway.
Sans, he can lick my ball sack.
Let's get it go. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to read. Brian, don't edit any of this out because it's going to be fucking awesome. But I think the right coach could fix things. I think if you have somebody come in there and literally look at Sans and say, Whit, this is what we're going to do. You're going to shut down those 6 sports. I don't care. And if you don't, I'm not going to come here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on social media and say I wanted to come to Virginia Tech because the tradition of what Frank Beamer built and what Bud Foster and that staff built, those staffs in the 90s, the 99 team, I was going to come here. But you know what? He wouldn't do anything to invest in football. That's what I'd do if I wanted. Now, Brian, you said something earlier.
You gotta have some big dick energy to pull that off, though. There's only probably a handful of guys that I think would want the job that can pull some shit off like that. It'll be interesting to see if we can sweeten the pot enough, both on the direct compensation side and on the program investment side, to make them see Virginia Tech as the place they want to be. Obviously, there are some alums that I think would potentially look at it with a little softer side, especially from the direct compensation perspective.
It's true.
But I don't know if they will have the chops to pull off the program investment side of the coin there. Again, they might be able to. It's just I feel like we need to have that level of investment and pride, regardless of having a coach come in and say this is what I need. Because At this point, they should fucking know. And honestly, Fuentes told them he's not doing a good enough job of probably pushing it, but I think he's certainly told them, I need this to be as successful as you want us to be. And I think, honestly, he does, because he's not a natural recruiter and he's not a guy that is driving a lot of direct donations based on some of the product we put out the last few years. So he does need all the help he can get on the financial front, whether it's new facilities, whether it's actual recruiting dollars, whether it's more money for his staff to build that out. I still can't get over the we couldn't come up $100K to get Odom like that. Yeah. That's still blowing my mind. So at some point we need to address everything. I mean, I definitely think coaching is a problem, but coaching is also bearing the brunt of the scapegoat here as well. So until we change a lot of things about the program, I don't think that we're going to see a significant bump in output on the field.
It's true.
That's just how I see it. Again, if y'all say you want to fire Fuente, I'm right there with you at this point, but I want to see a plan that goes beyond just bring a new guy in, because I need to hear who that guy is going to be and what the plan is to invest in the program so that person has success. Until I hear that, I'm still like, okay, well, cool, but if we hire another guy and he ends up going 6-7, are we going to be doing this again in 3 years?
And that's what you don't want to get into. And I think maybe the thing about Justin Fuente that happened in 2016, if he had walked in and seen what was going on behind the scenes, it should have been day one pushing, we need these new positions. But I don't think he's that type of guy. I think he felt like, well, they'll see it. They'll see it, right? They'll see that we're going to hit some hard times. And we did. And now, but it's more on you as a leader, as the coach of the football team. It's like, we need X, Y, and Z to get there. Yeah, we had a great first season because we had some really good players here, but we need X, Y, and Z to stay here. And for him, unfortunately, it took until 2020, January of 2020, for all this to happen. Chaos breaks out. You don't get to put the full plan in place. And then somebody, was it Fish? The B Fish that made the point that he looked up that 15 years ago we had one of the highest paid staffs in the country, and today we're like 37. I feel like he put that out there a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I believe so. I think you're right. Shout out
So,
B-Fish on Twitter there. Yeah, he talked about it, and let's go back and do a little history lesson here.
yeah,
We've talked about it before with Frank Beamer having a flirtation with UNC,
yeah,
coming back and saying, if you're going to keep me, we need to do this. And the big part of that was paying Bud Foster, paying the assistants, essentially having one of the highest, if not the highest, assistant staff in the country.
True.
And, we moved from that in the mid 2000s to now, playing catch up with like mid-ass teams. And we are surprised that the output on the field has dipped relative to, where those staffing and recruiting dollars are being spent. So, like I said, I love the energy that people have in terms of the passion about, this is unacceptable. I'm right there with you. This is unacceptable. What happened today is unacceptable, and it is a coaching problem, and I'm 100% with that. But I think it's naive to think that you can just hire any coach and that's going to change the situation.
It's true, man. It's true. And where we were 20 plus years ago was a different era of college football. And the money was different. And then where we were 15 years ago, the money's different. College football has become a corporation. And if you don't run it like a corporation, you will essentially fail. And so far, we haven't ran it like a corporation in the last 10 years, where I hate to say this, maybe because Dabo came from corporate real estate, he saw it. That's how he started running it when he got hired 10 years ago. And that's why they have been so successful. And it's not going to go back, folks. You're not going to turn the clock back, and it's not going to be like that anymore. So
Sands thinks there's a bubble, man. Sands thinks there's a bubble, so he's just waiting out the bubble.
Well, here's the question. If he
said he was waiting out the bubble. He put that shit in writing.
Okay, so he put it in writing. We're gonna wait out the bubble. What's the bubble? It's a goddamn pandemic year. There's no bubble. College football ratings are still absolutely insane. Like, do you know what that means? That means there's going to be more money coming down for these TV contracts because it's even more insane, right?
Yep.
I mean, let's be for real. Like, it's still going to be more insane. Like last weekend, you ready to hear this, Brian?
Yep.
Clemson BC on ABC. That's a high noon game, right?
Yeah. So Clemson in a mid-ass ACC team.
4.3 million viewers. The Michigan game pulled a damn 4.2 million viewers. Texas, Oklahoma State, which was at 4.4 million viewers. You start looking at this, and you start looking at the nighttime games between Ohio State, Penn State, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Alabama, Mississippi State. Ohio State, Penn State pulled 6.5 million viewers. Oklahoma Texas A&M pulled 2.1 million viewers. Mississippi, Alabama State, 2.2 million viewers. Minnesota, Maryland pulled 1.9 million. That's 13 fucking million people.
Yep.
It's not busting, dude. It's going to get bigger.
And let's talk about the Clemson game again. So Clemson, yes, they're number one team. In terms of the draw player, their biggest draw player wasn't fucking playing in that game. I know you might talk about the curiosity effect of, wanting to see what ukulele can do. But their biggest talent in terms of draw wasn't even playing in the game, and they pulled those numbers against a middling ACC opponent.
So guess what, Tim saying?
And there's no telling what the game that we just watched is going to end up pulling.
Oh, I guarantee you that pulls. If last week was $6.5 million, I guarantee you that's 9.5 tomorrow. I'll look it up. But either way, Brian, the bubble's not going to burst. And whether you want to fire Justin Fuente tonight, which if somebody told me and you today that's going to happen, we'd be like, okay, but who's the next guy? What's the plan? That should be the question. Not so much who gets fired, but what's the plan? Because it's a lot of money to buy him out. We're going to be $50 million in the red this year.
Yeah, I think everybody's at the tipping point where if the money is there to do it, they're okay with doing it. But again, I think we're in the mode where cool, but let me see what the plan's going to be. And as long as that's good, then we can kind of move forward and see what happens next. But I'm not of the mind that you can fire Fuente and expect that someone's going to come in with the salaries that we're offering, and all of a sudden it's going to be sunshine and roses. So I'm definitely still tempering my expectations if that's the case.
Yeah, you can't just have the right guy. If that happens, it has to be fucking perfect, and that's not going to happen more than likely. It's got to be a long-term plan to say we were here, now we're here, we're going to get back to here. Here's how we're going to get back to here. And if that happens, yes, it's potential to get back to where we were.
Yeah, but I think at this point, I mean, I'm with the people that saying they're ready to move on, only because at this point, if things don't change, every year we keep drawing this out, we're losing a little bit more of our cachet, and any leverage we have to lure a better or at least a more capable coach here, if the status quo remains the same. Because right now, we're paying top 40 money, and we have top 20 expectations. There's not a lot of, and probably in terms of investment in the whole program, maybe even top 50, there's not a whole lot of coaches that are going to see that and say,
I want to come here.
All the benefits of Blacksburg are worth the negatives that are coming along that I just mentioned there. So I feel like we definitely, if we keep seeing this, like pretty much at this point, unless we win out, I think this year has been subpar, unacceptable in terms of where I thought we would be and what I thought we would do and where we would end up.
The only thing that saves this year is COVID. If Witt still feels confident as I cannot think of the guy's name who was under Frank back in 92. The guy lost his job in 95, or he quit in 95. If he doesn't come out and say, I think this is more COVID than anything, I think it was so funky, I think it was so fucked up that nobody could do anything good. We didn't have our stadium here. We couldn't travel normal. We couldn't do everything was so far off normal. I'm giving him another year. And, if he comes and says it, we'll probably be okay. But I think our issue will become if next year stadium's full and, we're 8-4 again, people will be like, there's no difference, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, next year we're talking about probably no Herbert.
True.
We're talking about probably no Christian Darrisaw. Yeah, no Christian Darrisaw. We're talking about who else do you think is going to go?
I think that's it. Rook might leave, but the way Rook's played this year, his stock's not going to be as far up. Because even more so this year for Rook, it showed in probably more of an NFL-based system. He's not strong. And that hurts him. So he might say, no, I'm going to come back because I think I can do better in this system next year. And screw it, if I don't, I'll get my master's in something and be further educated.
Yeah. So, yeah, so that's what you're looking at right now. So I don't know if we're as good or better next year than this year. But if we're still losing these dumb shit-ass games like this today,
yep.
I mean, it's going to be a bad look, and it's going to be something that if it's not addressed this year, it's going to be addressed next year. And like I said, every year that we end up putting out 8-4 or worse, Blacksburg loses a little bit more luster, man. There's only so long we can live off of, Mike Vick, Frank Beamer, Bud Foster, and Enter Sandman.
There's only so long we can love off from 95 to 2010 or 2011.
Yeah. Because right now, I mean, we're still recruiting off of what we were then and not what we are now.
And even though I say this,
every year that we are further away from that selling point is a little bit weaker.
You know what makes me sad though? Because we talked about it a couple weeks ago. What we're selling now on offense is so superior to what it was 10, 15 years ago. And that's what makes me sad. And, if you tell me tomorrow they're firing him, hey, you got to do what you got to do. Our light's so small. So, yeah. Brian, anything broken other than Notre Dame upsets number 1 Clemson, 47-40, that we were watching here? And if you folks are wondering, that's why I went on my tangent as those kids rated the field.
They rated the field. We talked about that, and then we talked about just
college football.
It's the reason you guys are listening to us talk, and
we appreciate
right now. It's the reason that we pay money to go to the games. It's the reason that we pay money to go to the tailgates. I mean, this shit makes you feel good. Even when you lose, when talking about it still kind of makes you feel good. So, for what it's worth, that's something that hopefully we can move back towards once we figure things out with this COVID thing, guys. So, because that's definitely missed this year, like I said, win or lose. So, I think that's all I really got to say about it, buddy.
Well, let's wrap it up, man. That'll take care of this episode of the Boundary Corner podcast. Longer than usual, but a lot going on in our heads tonight. I'm Curtis Wilson.
I'm Brian Siegler.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe for our podcast on your favorite source, including Spotify, Amazon,
Apple
Music. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And as always, he plays us out every week. His name is Jason Long. He lives in the NRV. Please check him out at Bloom Restaurant and Wine Bar on the 19th of this month with one of his shows. Check him on Spotify and Apple Music as well. And as always, win or lose, let's go.
Hokies!
Spend my youth just rambling around, burning that road up from town to town. But days are long and these nights grow cold. Pretty soon this life starts getting old.